What's going on, everybody? We're back here on game preview number 2 of the day. We're talking about the Saints versus the Bills. The Saints have won 6 in a row. Best team in the NFC South right now. One of the top contenders in the NFC. A very deep NFC. So, there's just a lot of key things going on. This game is going to be played in Buffalo. The Bills came in off an ugly loss against the Jets on Thursday night. Tyrod Taylor stacked up a lot of garbage time numbers. So, this is a huge matchup for the Saints and a huge matchup for the Bills, who want to keep pace with some of the other AFC contenders in their conference. For the Saints, it's a huge game for them. Nobody in the NFC South really looks as good as the Saints. They run the ball really well. They have a solid young defense that flies to the ball, led by probably a top 5 corner right now in the league, Marshon Lattimore, who's locking up receivers. But yeah, this Saints defense is the comparison is night and day between this year's Saints defense and Saints defense of past. It looks like the Saints defense of the team that won the Super Bowl. They still have Drew Brees, accurate quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks to play the game. They rely on Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara has filled that Darren Sproles, Reggie Bush role, and he runs the ball really effectively, averaging about 6 yards a carry on the year. On the flip side for the Bills, everything starts with creating turnovers. A Sean McDermott-led defense from the coaching tree of Jim Johnson. You need turnovers, you need sacks. That's something that they rely on so heavily, and they run the ball really well. When they're running the ball really well and they're able to force a couple turnovers, they put themselves in a great position to win, because Tyrod Taylor does not turn the ball over, and you can rely on LeSean McCoy. Let's go ahead and talk about the 3 key matchups in this game. Straight up, we're going to go Saints defense versus Bills offense. This is a great matchup to watch. Saints defense is, like I said, very much improved. It's one of the best defenses that they fielded in probably the last 5 years, I guess you can say. Cameron Jordan is probably one of the best and most underrated defensive ends in the league. He does a lot of great things. Marshon Lattimore is playing great in corner. That secondary is playing balls out. They're balling out. So that Saints defense has to force Tyrod Taylor to be uncomfortable out of the pocket, and they have to shut down LeSean McCoy. They shut down a lot of teams' running games. They have an offense that scores points, so it puts that other team in bad position. To have to play catch up, they have to score to play with them. And it's a trouble. It's trouble. The Saints historically, though, have been bad outside of that dome. Not bad, but like below average. But I think that this is such a different Saints team that they can withstand this. But the Bills' offense, they rely so heavily on the run. If you can force them on first down, because on first down they want to run the ball. They want to pick up 4 or 5 yards on first down on the run. If you can hold them to like 1 or 2, force Tyrod Taylor to try and beat you, you have a great chance to win this game. Number 2, a key matchup here, is going to be Drew Brees and that offensive line, making sure they make the right line calls, switching protection to a side, all those things, versus that Buffalo front 7. Buffalo's front 7 is relying upon the sack, and they want to come upfield and rush the passer and stop the run while they're doing that. So that's something that we're gonna have to watch. New Orleans' offensive line has done a really good job of keeping Drew Brees up, opening holes for Ingram and Alvin Kamara. They're giving Brees time to find his receivers like Michael Thomas. So it's things like that. Drew Brees does a really good job of spreading the ball around like he's done throughout the course of his career. From a fantasy football owner standpoint, it kind of sucks if you draft a Saints receiver, so there's that. But from an NFL team standpoint, it makes it really hard to defend the Saints, because they do a great job of spreading the ball around to 5, 6, 7, 8 different guys. It makes it really hard to defend them. So if the Saints offensive line is able to contain this Buffalo pass rush, they have a great chance to win this game, and opening up those holes from Kamara and Ingram like they've done throughout the whole year. And another key matchup here is just Alvin Kamara in general. He's lined up all over the place. He runs the ball, he catches the ball, he blocks, picks up blitzes. He's really a dynamic player and should be talked about for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Obviously, Deshaun Watson going down, opens up a case for Kamara. So, wherever Alvin you have as a Bills defense, you have to know where Kamara is when he's on the field. It creates such huge problems and matchup issues, like Sproles and like Reggie Bush did in those roles. So when he comes on the field, the Bills have to know where he is and get the right lineup going. Now jumping to our 3 reasons why each team will win. Let's go start with the Bills. They play turnover free. They're able to run the ball. They're able to play turnover free. They have a great chance to win this game. Staying ahead and down in distance. Tyrod Taylor normally doesn't turn the ball over, so that's huge. And McCoy doesn't normally fumble. He does have a couple fumbles throughout his career, obviously, like everybody does, but he doesn't really fumble that often. Number 2, they're able to run the ball effectively, and effectively I mean, get back to what they've done really well, which is probably averaging close to 130 yards a game. I think they're probably one of the top 5 run offenses in the league. So if they're able to get McCoy going on the ground, gets over 120 yards, Tyrod Taylor gets another 20, 30, 40, things like that. If they're able to keep the Saints off balance on the defensive side of the ball, they have a chance to win this game. And number 3 is being able to create pressure in Drew Brees' face, causing a couple of turnovers. If they can pick off Drew Brees twice, get a strip sack fumble, something like that. If they're plus 2 or 3 in turnover margin, they can win this game. That's just, something that the Bills' formula for success is sacks and forcing turnovers. They didn't do it very last week against the Jets. Let's see if they can do it this week against the Saints. Obviously, it's going to be tough because Drew Brees is a very active quarterback. He does tend to have one bad game, every once in a while, where he turns the ball over 4 times. I just don't see it happening with this group of players around him, where it limits him having to throw the ball 40 times and they can run the ball effectively. So, jumping to 3 reasons why for the Saints. They're able to do what they've been able to do. Get Ingram 20 touches. Get Kamara 15 to 20 touches. Limit Drew Brees' passing to 26 to 30 pass attempts. Control the clock. Work the feet. Work sideline to sideline. Use the whole field if they have to. Kamara is really a difference maker for this offense. It's crazy that a rookie is doing this, but he's such a difference maker for this offense that it's allowed Sean Payton to turn back the clock and use that old playbook of his. Number 2, this Saints defense is able to, do what they've done all year, and that's put this offense in great position to win games. Get off the field on 3rd down, force a couple of turnovers, get sacks. I think the Saints defense is criminally underrated. We need to start recognizing this defense. I need to start recognizing this defense as one of the top, 10 to 15 defenses in this league. So, if they're able to get off the field, keep them in bad down in distance, stop the run a little bit. Keeping McCoy to below 80 yards, you have a great chance to win this game. And our 3rd reason why the Saints win this game is Drew Brees is turnover free. He throws 3 touchdown passes. He finds 10 guys in the passing game like he's known to do. Things like that. Throws for 250, 280 yards, 3 touchdowns, 10 guys involved in the passing game, no turnovers. A very effective Drew Brees day. So my prediction for this game is that the Saints will win. I think that they'll win this game on the road, going to 7-2. Being talked about as one of the best in the NFC. So I think that will move them to 7-2. I think that they'll win this game 34-21. I'm not saying that the Bills are bad. I'm just saying that the NFC is so strong this year that they make the AFC look weaker. And the Saints are very, very underappreciated as an NFL team right now. So I think that the Saints will win this one 34-21. Another effective day from the Saints offense, getting up over 350 to 400 yards of total offense. Kamara and Ingram do their thing, work the clock at the end of the game, run the ball effectively. That's going to do it for me today. We'll do 2 more game previews tomorrow. Thank you for watching, and I'm out.